world whereby we live with people as human. Men live with women, women live with men. We are dating. And then the thing is now there's so much expectations and entitlement rolled around this romantic relationships that we are having with our partners. Uzoza umuntu athi, indoda yami ke leyo, that's my man. I remember one time I even said to this girl I was sitting with her, Monna kwarena, monna, for as long as asanyala, kwarena kamuka, which I feel like it's true because he's not tied up to anyone else. Lo muntu lona akaloboli ashada omunye umfazi athi hayi lo mfazi wakhe, for as long as ile monna kwarena kamuka.
Angathi nabanye nanoma bashadile, they're still public property.
Yes, we'll talk about it, but now let's talk about the entitlement and the expectations that we have from our romantic partners in June.
Yeah, I think Unandi Madida had something to remark with regards to that a couple of months ago. And I know maybe now me mentioning her might be a bit untopical because it's quite old. But she did raise the plight of the struggles that men go through and the high expectations that they are still subjected to. Because as I always tell people, that you can be a billionaire today or a millionaire, as a black person. But as black people, we all come from pretty much the same historical background. We all come from oppression and we all come from limited opportunities and we all come from accessibility to opportunities depending on how much money you have or who you know. So all these factors, all these circumstances, they actually make it hard for a man, a black man in particular, to thrive in a way that they really want to. So I feel some of the expectations within relationship that men are subjected to, they are a little bit unfair. Our touch into consideration the historical background where men come from. I mean, nami manje mangihlala namantombazane kufanele ngibachazele ukuthi uyazini ekhaya basabheke mina. Umama inyanga nenyanga kufanele kube yimi ofakela imali yokuthi adle, kufanele ngifake imali yokuthi kuthengwe ugesi, kuthengwe amalahle, ukuthi kubaswe kahle ngasendlini.
But I feel like you're protecting men too much. You're protecting men. When as umjita, you wanna come for a girl like me, a hand like me, and
a hand like me.
Oh and then you just wanna come into my life, knowing Ugutu when you have black text that is still you're still busy with. You are an African man, or
the historical background.
You the historical background, and you want to come into my life. Why do you go for the things that you cannot afford? As men,
I mean,
you cannot maintain. Okay, I see afford. You cannot maintain because when you're coming into my life, that means you are saying you can take care of me.
Procreation, reproductivity, that is everyone's right. You understand? So there's absolutely nothing wrong with me trying to seize an opportunity to procreate or to reproduce with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because I mean, uthando into natural. Angeke uthanda inhliziyo yakho uthi ethanda loya ungathandi loyana, kodwa into eyenzakalayo within uthando obviously kuzoba khona lawo ma expectations and then kuzoba khona abantu abanamanye ama-entitlement,
so
you know.
So it means there's still nothing wrong with having entitlement to your partner and having expectations, but according to me,
there's absolutely nothing wrong with having expectations and maybe having a sense of entitlement. But I feel it's a little bit unfair expecting things from a partner that even yourself, even you parents were unable to get you. I think it's very unfair expecting a partner which okuzafanele angithengele i-Rolls Royce, okuzafanele angenze i-BBL, kuzofanele angenze lezi zinto lezi just off the cuff without looking kwi-background yakantanga ukuthi ubuyaphi and without also looking at his vision. Okay, with whatever money he's making today, what is he trying to achieve in the near future? And then when you're only focusing in the present moment, I want a Range Rover, or I want a Bentley, and I want a BBL. I feel there is not a way of approaching relationships. I feel that is where expectations and entitlements get the best of us, because you are coming here with that entitlement, which almost like a price tag. Ukuthi mina no ngiphila i-standard esinjeni, so kufanele amatche le standard list. And then what if angikhoni ukusimatcha leso standard, but I'm very compatible for you? I pray for you as my women. I make sure that our refrigerator is filled. I make sure that you are happy in the house and all these things.
The thing is, isn't this compatibility? It's things that we can never really approve. So, we live in a world whereby people want their lifestyles to be funded. People are actually living beyond their means. So that though, but when I look at it, it's not only ladies, because when hence I said earlier on that when it's more like you're being one-sided. We have gents now who are expecting the ladies to actually fund their lifestyle. Like I remember there was one part of my life whereby I was scammed unexpectedly
by a man.
Ngalesi sikhathi anginayo naleyo mali. Uthe wabona ukhipha kuma-savings. Lo muntu lo kanti hayi pop ama-bottles. Later on the day, check kuma-status, there's like VSOP,
at least yena bekapopha ama-bottles. I know a lady last year in December was admitted in a mental institution. You know why? Because she bought a boyfriend a Quantum mini taxi, and then expecting ukuthi yena nomuntu wakhe bazoyenza imali babe mnandi. Then the next thing guy ran away with the Quantum, you know, and then ran away going to impress and dating these younger ladies. So the lady ended up at a mental institution. So it's both ways. Here's the thing with the whole notion or the mindset of a lifestyle. You see, we have advertising, and advertising is everywhere. It's on television, it's on social media. If you get on Facebook, you're going to see a lot of advertisements. So what advertising does is it's feeding into a capitalist system of always making money, generating a need or creating a need in society that people would want to fill with getting a certain product or a certain service, and then making money for the producers or the organization that creates the product or the service. So that's the mindset of advertising. It's about capitalism. So I criticize advertising a lot. There's an article I wrote about advertising where I'm being critical about the nature of advertising, that it is also promoting consumerism. It is also promoting materialism. Cabanga ukuthi mase ngine-iPhone entsha, ngicabanga ukuthi mase ngine-Bentley entsha, ukwabona amantombazana bazongithanda, ngizoba more important, I'm going to feel more validated. So those are the weaknesses of advertising. Those are the shortcomings of advertising that we don't even see. Which it creates a world of materialism, it creates a world of consumerism. And materialism and consumerism, sometimes it takes us away from Ubuntu Betu.
Yes.
Look now at the two, what are these commissions, these investigating commissions happening that are running parallel. It's the Madlanga Commission, it's the Ad Hoc Commission, Parliament Commission at the same time, where we are learning about extremely corrupt business people and politicians. And what is their objective? What is their goal in all these actions that they've been doing? It is making more money. So then someone is going to send their girlfriend to Turkey or to Dubai to get a BBL. So then someone is going to buy their children who are 17 or 18 years houses. And those children even have the audacity to brag online and tell us, I had my first house when I was 17, so I'm not going to apologize for that. You know, because of these corrupt mindsets, lacking ubuntu, and without a vision, and being greedy as well. So yes, so that's what this whole thing does. When I'm just kuma relationship and then says but yes, but it is just to show you that sometimes people go to certain lengths in order to fulfill a certain false conscious need. I'll call it the false conscious because it's not something that you extremely need. It's not something that without you won't survive. But it is something that you feel out of your own perception in life and out of your own desires in life ukuthi okay no ngifuna ukuthi ngibe nento enje and kufanele ngiyithole by any means necessary, even if it means ukubulala abantu, if it means ukuyenza corruption, ukuthatha ama-opportunity wena okungafanelanga athole omunye umuntu.
That's where I show that the sayings are coming in with if I die, I die. Because people are looking at that. You know, they will be giving examples on the socials, they'll be like 1 million rand or going back to school. And then people will be like, that 1 million, I will fund my fees. You see, that's where the saying are coming, if I die, I die, because now of the greed, the finances, and all those. Earlier on, you mentioned something about advertising, material things, consumer, which takes on to how mostly women are being portrayed in the media space. Talking about TV, okay, radio, it's audio, obviously. Talking about social media, which now the material part is actually invested on when coming to that. And then now women are usually portrayed somehow. You know?
I always tell people, you know, if you want to make money in life, you want to make a lot of money, you want to produce a certain product or a service, you need to make sure that you are targeting women and children.
Yes.
You know, those are the two biggest consumers.
Of TV.
They are not even of TV or of any product, you know, to speak out loud. So with that, it comes to this whole entitlement and expectation that we were talking about earlier on, that sometimes we tend to lose the essence or the substance of a relationship. Why am I in this relationship, or why am I with this person? We tend to, I'm not a relationship expert, trust me.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a healthy relationship in a very, very long time. So this is just based on my observations and my experiences. Okay. I never been in a healthy relationship in the longest of times. But this is what I've tended to realize is sometimes some people get into a relationship for the wrong reasons, because untanga will be able to fund your lifestyle, because untanga will be able to acquire certain things for you, because untanga drives a certain car, so it means he will afford a certain amount of girlfriend allowance for wena. And then people just throw themselves in those relationships. You know, we need not even mention this, but we know of many young ladies, you know, first year, second year university, who are dating these older rich men, majority of them who are married. So then they'd be able, you know, to have the latest iPhone, they'd be able to have, you know, the latest hair, so that they'd be able to get whatever opportunities or whatever lifestyle that they can get. So it's this whole notion of being entitled and getting into a relationship with an entitled mindset.
So before today, lately the hair and the iPhones are no longer doing it. Apparently, to make sure that you are the ish in the streets, you need to have a car. So which means ukuthi labo baba babhizi benzani manje ke because of the expectations of the girls that wants to be in the streets.
It's a liability. You don't just buy it once, you buy it now, you need to service it, you need insurance monthly, you need fuel on a daily basis. So if I was a blesser and I bought somebody a car,
they've been doing that.
Do I think I'll be able to sustain that?
Sometimes it's not only about sustainability, it's about you just buying it off. So that means there is an arrangement and an agreement within the arrangement. Okay, I'm just going to buy you a car. Yona le mali okhuluma ngayo leya la kuma commissions iyaphuma iya laphayana
ithenga imoto
cash.
Ithengela umntwana omncane ongazi nokwazi kunjani.
19 years. Umntwana uthatha imoto, but I will assist. But if I can't, I can't now when coming to the maintenance and everything.
And the daily cost, I mean, fuel.
The fuel, fuel and everything.
I need to take my car for service now, and I'm stressing.
Listen. Talking about now the daily expense and everything. Kunalento bathi girlfriend allowance. What are your thoughts on it?
No, I don't think your girlfriend allowance is supposed to be an obligation type of a thing. I don't think it's supposed to be, and I don't believe in girlfriend allowance because if you my girlfriend, would you give me a boyfriend allowance? Why is it supposed to be one-sided? Mina, why am I supposed to give you?
You are a provider.
I'm a provider for my family. Mase ngukuthathile sohlala la nami. But mase say girlfriend, I can tell you this for free. Ever so often, I'm not going to be the only provider.
Why? What do you mean by that?
It's because there'd be someone else who would possibly be providing.
Why would there be someone else if I have you and you providing?
Because wants are unlimited. We need to understand the difference between needs and wants. What you need, it is something that can be covered today, your clothing, your food, your roof. But what you want, it's unlimited. You can wake up tomorrow and want a car. You can wake up the following day and want a brand new iPhone. You can wake up the following day and want a trip to Dubai so that you can create content and post on your socials. So wants are unlimited. So once a relationship, when a relationship is based on wants, then I feel it is doomed to fail. Because let's also talk about sustainability. A lot of businesses here in South Africa, they're not sustainable, including those ones by these big shot tender mafias who go around stealing money that is supposed to be providing basic services for the nation, including those. They are not sustainable. So the point that I'm making is I can have a successful business for 5 to 10 years and I'm making so much money. And then I'm able to afford all your wants and all your needs. But then life is seasonal. I don't care who you are and where you're from. But life goes through changes. There are no guarantees that whatever money I'm making in these 4, 5, 10 years, I'm still going to be making the same money after a certain period of time, or maybe after 10 years.
Right.
There are no guarantees. So the point that I'm making is with sustainability, yes, we can live large these 4 or 5 years. My business is doing good. But because life is life and life is about going through seasons, there is going to be a certain moment where my business isn't making as much money. There is going to be a certain point where a new technology has been introduced. So the service that I was offering is no longer needed. So that would mean I need to re-strategize and I need to change my way of doing things. While on it, obviously, I won't be making the same amount of money that I'm still making. And your wants and your needs might not be met. What are you going to do? Are you going to jump ship to another promised land, maybe?
I disagree, Mabizela. I disagree.
Also, you think if you are rich, you COVID, look, what did COVID-19 teach us? I knew people who were millionaires before COVID.
Listen.
People who used to roll around in champagne, Range Rovers, and all of that. But when the COVID hit, and then the economy went through a negative transformation, those people found themselves at the lowest of the low. Why? Because life is through seasons. There are no guarantees in this whole thing.
You know what's the honest truth? The honest truth is ukuthi abantu abanemali, they are not loud about that. So the people that you're talking about, those are the people that don't have money. So this morning I came across on Facebook, a saying that says, money loves organized people. Those are organized people. You know how do organized people live? Those big shots, the real businessmen. They are organized. They plan for everything. Probably they planned like 5, 10 years from now with their lives. Each and every fact department of their lives, when a wife, when a kids, when a school fees, when a entertainment, each and everything, it has their project. When a side chick, there's a project for side chick. So if you are a side chick and you come across such, you must be sure. You know, obviously, like, make sure you're giving this big shot, whatever you're giving that. I'm not promoting it, don't get me wrong. But my point here is the needs and the wants can still be funded depending on who you are seeing. You understand my point? So, labanye nabo wena ukhuluma nabo uthi hayi, I can't be funding your wants and your needs. There are those. I say all the time. I'm like, a small boy. You are a small boy if then you can be. But that means they don't want to. But if they want what they want from me,
that they make sure good they do whatever it takes.
And you know what I've learned now about relationships and the entitlements and the expectations is the fact that masihlangana ilento leyenzakalayo when we first met, and then when we are fundiswa ukuthi hi, you know what, you are my baby. Then
we usually spend about like 2K on a date.
I'm gonna be entitled. Okay, I'm his baby. Obviously, you tell me if you're a sugar daddy, or maybe if you are a young adult who you have a long money aging
or you are a trust kid.
You know,
trust fund children.
And I will know that you insured me ukuthi I am your baby. Noma kungaba namanye amantombazana lana, I'm not gonna give a damn because I know I'm his baby.
But we are still talking about sustainability or sustenance. And you said something very interesting about, people who tend to succeed over the long term. That they are very organized. They're very organized. So I think when someone is trying to get an organization going, to that level where they be able and they have to plan ahead, I don't think that they might be able to cover certain ones that you might have today, because one, their money has to be invested, and then number two, for each and every expense or liability, they have to think twice and it has to add value. So if you think getting a BBL or getting hair every 3 months is something that they have budgeted for already, I don't think you're going to get that from organized people. And I don't think that also organized, as you mentioned,
organized people have a stash for that. I told you, they have specific projects for girls on the side. This is the money for entertainment. They call it entertainment. And then they know the entertainment is also going to want something from them. Then they fund whatever the entertainment wants. It doesn't matter how much it is. They can buy you a Mini Cooper as an entertainment right now. And
but
you'll be wow.
Does it matter how did they get those funds, or how did they get that project going on? Is it through merit?
No. Remember what I said. This quote, it's not a quote, actually, it's a saying. It says, money loves organized people. So organized people are people who actually know about themselves and who they are. Obviously, when you know about yourself and who you are, there's people that you live with. You're coming from a family also. Maybe your family also have expectations of you. Maybe they say you need to be married to ukhulisa isibongo. Chances are you are not married for love. You married ukhulisa isibongo. You have a wife, and when you are a man who likes being entertained. There's also women like that. You like being entertained
by other people.
And you know what I think about them most of the time, Most of the time, thing about organized people with their entertainment, they don't get addicted. You can come and take as an entertainment and leave. They don't give it them. Come and take it as long as they get whatever they want. They get, you get, that's it. It's a transaction.
It's a transaction. So is that what we make of modern relationships?
No.
Which they are a transaction.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It's really about give and take. So that's why I haven't been in a healthy relationship in the longest time. Because I would always put myself first. I would always put my visions, my projects first. And I would always look at where I'm coming from and where I'm trying to go. So if something is going to be transactional, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care about what a stunning body you have. Tell you what, you can pass, you can leave. Because we live, the thing is, sometimes the reason why modern relationships are this way, it is because amadoda, they've forgotten their value.
Thank you.
Amadoda have forgotten a man's wealth. A man's wealth. And a man's wealth isn't about always coughing money and serving the other people. A man's wealth isn't about enslaving yourself, trying to impress slave queens. A man's wealth is about adding value. A man's wealth is about procreating, building something solid.
Okay.
That is a man's value. So let me tell you where I am coming with this. A man can work until he's 70, until he's 80. A man can still impregnate you at 60 or 70 years of age, and then you carry his child. What my grandmother taught me, ukuthi amandla wendoda awapheli. A man can lose everything this year and have times 5 of that in the next 5 years. Now that is a man's worth. It lies in our power. It lies in our courage. And it lies in our drive of always wanting to be productive and of always wanting to create something. So as a man, you need to understand that you are the prize, man. You are the prize. A man is the prize. Because you can work until you are 70, until you 80. As a man, you can build a house all by yourself without, I'm not promoting that, but you can build a house all by yourself without any women, without any what. You can build a house as a man. You can live a very long and a healthy life by yourself.
Name a few millionaires that built something by themselves. Let me just say
myself.
Wait.
Myself. How, baby girl? Don't you know? It's just saying show you my bank account. I don't reveal that. I think you're just saying money loves organized people.
Correct.
Yes, I'm a young millionaire, and I built my millions without a woman.
On a real. Name 3 well-known millionaires that were never even married. Don't tell me about Laba.
There are plenty, but I just don't know them at the top of my head.
So you don't
they
know
just
what
not
you're
come.
talking
But there are
about,
plenty. No, but as I'm telling you, I'm telling you what my grandmother shared with me. With amandla wendoda awapheli. So that is a man's worth. That's why I must say a man is the prize. A man is the prize. As a man, uyakhona ukuthandaza manje uNkulunkulu akunikezele yonke into efunayo. As a man, uyakhona ukuzimisela ukuthi okay, this is what I'm aiming for and this is what I'm working towards, and then it materializes. So that's my belief.
Right.
I feel as men we've forgotten our worth. That's why we get thrown away. That's why we get carried with the wind of get me a BBL. Oh, a man must. Kubabizela kudela ukufa. Khohlwa mntwana kithi.
Tell me, now we're talking about relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does a man brings in a relationship? A relationship whether a man is with a woman, a romantic relationship to this person.
Mina, if a vision and a mission is everything, because we can be millionaires. We can be millionaires, but for as long as we don't know what we're trying to go and we don't know what we want to achieve, we are as good as deadly.
Let me rephrase. What is a man in a relationship? What is the position of a man? Because
a man brings or builds.
Because I believe each and every one of us has his or her own place in the world and in a relationship. Now, to be specific, as a woman has her own place and also a man has a place. So what's the man's place in a relationship?
A man is someone who constructs a vision and a mission for our lives.
What do you mean by
a man already knows, okay, I have certain dreams. This is what I want to achieve. and this is what I want for my family, and this is the life I want my family and I to live. So there is a man, someone who's going to bring in a vision, someone who's going to build a home in which everyone can live and actually feel at home because of the man's presence in that. Yes, so a man does provide. I'm not going to, deny that. I'm not gonna reject that point. Yes, a man does provide, because I cannot pick you up from wherever you stay or pick you from your parents' house and then muglete kwami and then be like, yeah, no, me father sends a 50-50. No, I cannot be like that. So I have to provide. It's okay. And then so there are certain things I will provide to make the living easy and smooth.
Agreed.
For both of us.
Does a man protect?
Yes, a man does protect.
That's somewhere where I'm going with this. Ne? So how can you be the prize if you are providing and protecting?
For the mere fact that you can provide and you can protect, you are needed. You are the prize. Because you can provide and you can protect. There are many men out there. They are just men.
All right.
By gender, not by their behavior and their doing. They don't provide, they don't protect. And then it's very easy for a lady to end up with a man like that. We see them every day, always complaining on social media and what not. But my man hasn't been doing it. I'm the only one who's working. We see that every day. We see that every day.
Listen.
But so for the fact that you protect and you provide, that is what makes you a prize. For the fact that you have a vision, you have a mission where you would like to see our family go, that makes you a prize.
Please stop. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you an example. Who's asking the next person, what do you bring on the table in a relationship?
Mina, I don't ask that question. I will see what you bring to the table.
In general, who's asking another one, what do you bring to the table?
I'm not really sure. I told you I haven't been in relationships in the longest time. So I never asked anybody, Mina, what do you bring to the table?
But you have the table.
I got plenty tables, yes.
You are not the prize. You are not because you have a table. And I must bring something on the table.
I didn't say you must bring something to the table.
You're not the prize. You are not the prize. I am the prize. And because I'm the prize, I'm going to bring myself on the table.
Or you bring yourself on the table and then I have to